A new party has been launched in India. It's called the Cockroach Janata Party. You heard that right. Eligibility criteria is unemployed, lazy, and chronically online. Ability to rant professionally. The party's slogan is secular, socialist, democratic, and lazy. And it calls itself the voice of the youth. The website is on your screen right now, cockroachjanataparty.org, launched the same day. The growth was immediate and striking. Within 3 days of launch, the party has attracted about 80,000 sign-ups. On Instagram alone, the party has crossed 551,000 followers within 48 hours. And if you thought that this lazy and unemployed movement was just online, it has gone offline. A group of youth volunteers carried out cleanliness drives along the Yamuna River, dressed like cockroaches, carrying placards as a peaceful response to the CGI's remark. What was the CGI's remark? Let's play that up for you as well. Right? Now, the volunteers said that they chose their own insult and they could not take in the statement that was made by CGI Suryakant. They said that they were pained by his comments. Now, what were his comments? Remember, on the 15th of May, Chief Justice of India Suryakant likened unemployed youth to cockroaches during a Supreme Court hearing. The remarks went viral. And the very next day, a digital content creator, Abhijit, founded the Cockroach Janata Party. Now, who is Abhijit? Abhijit is a 30-year-old Indian student currently studying public relations in Boston University. He's not in India. He has a degree, does not have a job, and he calls himself the OG cockroach. So he thought, let's speak with him. Let me welcome now Abhijit on the program. Hi, Abhijit. How's it going? I want to understand from you, how did this entire, cockroach party idea even come to your mind? Why did you decide to launch a party? Not a campaign, not a slogan, but a party.
I think it was more triggering coming it from the Chief Justice of India, who is the custodian of Constitution, which grants us the freedom of expression. Someone who is there to safeguard our freedom of expression is comparing us with cockroaches and parasites for just putting up our opinion. That was more hurting part, I would say. Had this comment made by anybody else from the ruling party, which they normally do, it wouldn't have caused such stir, but it came from someone who is supposed to protect our freedom of expression.
All right, so would it be fair to say that you are the OG cockroach? You are the one, as you called yourself, that you are the one that the Chief Justice was really talking about. Why did it become so personal? And I'm trying to understand, ever since then, you've got support of some opposition MPs as well, some TMC MPs who have jumped in. How did you take that support?
Everybody who will speak about the youth, about the Gen Z and their concerns are welcome in this party. Because for too long, I believe the Indian politics has ignored the Indian youth. If you look at the political discourse of India, what it has been for the last 10-12 years, it has been around Hindu, Muslim and stuff like that. How is it actually serving the youth? What is it in for them? There is absolutely nothing. So why would the Indian youth would look up to these people?
But currently the poster boy for Indian youth is Vijay, right? He's the one who's garnered most Gen Z and millennial votes here. Can Vijay join the Cockroach Party?
I think Vijay has already achieved his own success.
But what about Arvind Kejriwal? Can he join the Cockroach Party?
He can extend his support if he wants to, but I don't think that anybody in the among the Gen Zs would like any political party to be involved in this. I want to be really clear about it.
You're clear about that, but there's a reason I brought up Arvind Kejriwal, because I know that you were associated with the Aam Aadmi Party in the past. Back in the day, you have managed Aam Aadmi Party's social media messaging. You handled their positioning online as well. What happened? You're not working with them anymore? They could not live up to your expectations? Would that be fair to say?
No, it's not that, Sonal. Actually, I worked there for like from 2020 to 2023, I think. And it was for a brief period of time. I was actually very inspired by the health and education model that they worked on. I mean, it was also very refreshing to know that in Indian politics, then health and education was nowhere, and he delivered on that. So I was inspired by that, and I just wanted to contribute in that. And after that, I thought maybe I need to move forward with my life. So I took a year off. I started preparing for my applications. And then in 2024, I decided, okay, it's time to move ahead in life, focus on personal life, financial stability, and stuff like that. So I applied to some universities. I got into Boston University, and I have been here since then.
Okay. You know, in the past 1 year, a lot of Gen Z movements have happened in and around India's neighborhood. We've had Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal. And a lot of memes were then floated around saying, India ka Gen Z kahan hai? Are you trying to say India ka Gen Z yahan hai?
I think India का Gen Z हमेशा यही था. Because the kind of support you see that we have got in just 3 days, Sonal. Today we have like 3 lakh registered members. The figure has gone to 3 lakh in just 4 days. On Instagram we got 3.3 million people. That is 30 lakh people are following us. Do you really think that this is possible through any orchestrated campaign? No, it is not.
No, it is possible. But, you know, my question to you is this, that do you have a plan on what is going to happen next, or is this just a flash in the pan moment?
Because it has just been 3 4 days, and as I told you, nothing of this was planned. If I had to plan it, I wouldn't be doing it from the US. I would have been in India, right? All of this happened so suddenly, but I want to underline this. This has happened because the frustration that these young people have for many years. It has happened because of that. Like 36 crore, India has the largest young population, and majority of that young population is out of workforce. What do you expect from them then? It will be frustrated. They are really frustrated.
Okay, you know, there is a 5-point agenda that I found on your website, and it's a quick one. I'm sure AI was used to make all of that. It says that the key demand includes no Chief Justice shall be granted a Rajya Sabha seat or a post-retirement reward. It says that Chief Election Commissioner or Commissioner who deletes legitimate votes shall be arrested under UAPA. It also goes on to say that women shall receive 50%, not 33% reservation, along with 50% cabinet positions. Are you really saying this is prepping up? Is this a meme, or are you prepping up for a party? Give me a straight answer.
I think this is about what should be the ideal situation and what we should strive for. It's about that. And we are striving for an India that would have all the institution independent, be it the judiciary, be it the election commission, or be it the media. The greatest threat to Indian democracy today is that all of those institutions seems to be aligned with the ruling party, and that is a very dangerous sign. So that is what we are striving for. We are striving for the neutrality and independence of all these institutions.
But despite all of that, Abhijit, I have to bring to your attention that they're still winning elections. If I am to call it out, you're not naming the BJP, but this is an attack sort of, or a counter narrative to this, right? But they are still winning elections. And you are saying that this is democracy. Are you saying that you will be fighting elections against them?
Yeah, they are winning elections, but how? We should also discuss that then.
Okay, the Chief Justice of India, ever since you came out with this, has clarified his comments. He did come out to say that it was for those who have fake degrees, etc. But you haven't withdrawn or taken even cognizance of those comments, have you?
I find the clarification even more despicable because he said that it was aimed at the people who don't have a real degree or who have bogus degree and stuff like that. So no, we all know that majority of the India today lives in rural parts. The rural youth, even the Gen Z of the rural, works as a daily wage laborer because he doesn't have a formal degree. He doesn't have the privilege to get a formal education. So those who don't have the privilege to earn a formal degree don't have the right to speak up in a democracy. What is the Chief Justice of India is trying to say here? Doesn't the constitution which he sworn to protect says that every individual, irrespective of his educational qualification or his social status, has the right to speak up, has the right to freedom of expression? How can you say that nobody who doesn't have a formal degree is a cockroach? Like, this is so disheartening to hear from the Chief Justice of India.
Okay, but Abhijit, the narrative on Gen Z in India is what? That Gen Z outrages but only online. If they come out on the streets, it's only to make reels. This doesn't really translate into something, which is why I was saying that many would say this is just a, like a splash in the pan sort of a moment.
No, I don't. Actually, I don't. Because for past few months, I have been observing that there is this growing trend that earlier people were frustrated, but they wouldn't like to express their dissatisfaction. But if you ever go on Instagram, now these people are speaking up. And this is just the first stage. Now they are trying to speak up. Earlier, they were not even speaking up. Now they have got to a point where they are being vocal about their frustration. And tomorrow they might even get on the streets. But let me remind you again, if they get on the streets, don't think it will be like Nepal or Bangladesh. Indian Gen Z won't do that. Like, these people are really smart. I have been speaking to hundreds of them, and they are explaining me how they need to protest in a very democratic and peaceful manner. They understand how important it is to raise their voice, but within the constitutional rights. So I wouldn't compare the Indian Gen Z with the Gen Z of other nations and would try to defame them, because these people are more smarter than the entire cabinet ministry that is sitting there today. The kind of politicians we have, the kind of ministers we have, what educational qualifications do they have?
Okay, Abhijit, you seem to be representing the voice of youth, so let me ask you a question. Is there anybody, any neta, abhineta, any cricketer, any politician, anybody who represents the Indian youth today in the country?
I'm not leading them. Basically, they have created this movement on their own, to be honest. I was not expecting...
leaderless movements are even worse. We
know how that works, right?
This movement will give faces, and this will give more educated faces than we have today. And that would be a really good sign for Indian politics, don't you think?
All right, so you're saying even you are not a leader at the moment. Then who is leading this movement? What happens?
I would like to ask you, when was the last time you ever heard from any Indian politician who is trying to engage with the Gen Z? You are a journalist, you have been in this field for quite so long, and I think you follow these politicians more than me. Please tell me, who is the last person or politician who actually tried to address this Gen Z population?
Well, if you're asking me, like I said in the beginning, at the moment, the current flavor seems to be Vijay. He's one person who comes to mind, and Gen Z came out in big numbers to vote for him.
Yeah,
but that's my opinion. It doesn't have to be.
We won't include him in the existing political system that exists today. So even you don't have the answer. See, that's what I'm talking about.
All right, Abhijit, we'll leave it there for the moment, but thank you so much for joining us. Good luck with the Cockroach Party. You tell us that it's funded by no one. You tell us that it will invite no other political party. You also tell us that it is not at the behest or against anyone. It is simply the voice of the youth. We wait to see if this becomes an event that has been a trend and a hashtag for some time, or is this here to stay till 2029? We'll be watching. For the moment, thanks so much for joining us.